Domestic violence is a growing issue affecting people of all backgrounds, economic classes, ages, and relationships. In San Francisco alone, the police department responds to about 4,200 domestic violence reports annually. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to know just how many are affected by domestic abuse because about 40% of victims do not report it.
Yeah, so the other chunk of my work is educating the community about the prevalence of domestic violence, how to support people that might be experiencing domestic violence, and how to reach out for help if they or someone they know is experiencing domestic violence. It affects far more people than we often realize. So 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will experience some form of domestic violence over the course of their lifetime. In California, 40% of women will experience some form of domestic violence. That might include economic abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse. 3 out of 4 people know someone who has experienced domestic violence. Unfortunately, it's all around us, but oftentimes it can take place outside of the public eye, so we're not quite as aware of it. And what La Casa does through our community education and outreach is to really bring domestic violence to the forefront of the conversation, help people understand how prevalent it is so they can support people or they can support organizations like La Casa and get help.
When thinking of domestic violence in a home, it's usually perceived to be between a husband and wife. The reality is domestic violence doesn't have an age or gender criteria. Young people in their teens also experience domestic violence.
So there's a few examples of why a teenager would call if they are experiencing domestic violence in the home, right? So their caregivers are exercising forms of abuse towards them and they're unsure what to do, especially if they're a youth and they don't know where to go or who to turn to. They can call us for support and we can offer support around that. We also focus on intimate partner violence, right? So if a youth is in a relationship where there is intimate partner violence, we try to offer support if that is happening as well. But a lot of times too, if they're just in unhealthy relationships with their friends, or if their friends are going through it. We get a lot of calls about youth whose friends are going through it and they just want to know how to be a good friend.
La Casa De Las Madres focuses on empowerment and the ability to make choices. They offer services free of charge, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.